Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Las
Las
Bueninos
Bueninos
Vamos.
Vamos.
¿Cómo te llamas?
Mi nombre es Margarita. You can find me on TikTok and on Instagram at your favorite Margarita.
Damn. Okay, Speedy Gonzalez. My name is Lorenzo Lenchito. You can find me at Las Bueninos Vamos or Ruthless Clothing. And if you're 30 and younger, this is what it takes to bring your loved ones together. A podcast.
A podcast? Absolutely.
This is the reason why it takes a podcast to bring people together, because we have with us who?
Arlene and Junior.
Yeah.
Welcome back.
What's up, guys?
Welcome back, guys. Thank you guys for coming on. I know it was totally last minute.
Totally last
minute. Se pusieron todo. By the way, guys, you guys look amazing. You guys look so cute.
You.
When they were coming in, I was like, oh, they look so cute. Y la tenía bien agarrada en la mano para que no se cayera.
Okay.
Con los pozos.
Con los pozos.
Los pozos from the alley.
Oh, okay.
Oh, me giving out my location. Hey, guys, by the way.
No se me vaya a caer, no se me vaya a raspar. Ahorita me tiro en el piso.
I know.
Yeah.
¿Qué hicieron ahora?
Church.
Church?
The outfit.
Oh, see, good for you guys. I have been.
Church.
How early?
Not 9, yeah. We'll wake up a little bit earlier, but we just
Yeah.
decided to go for the 9 a.m. Arlene had a little appointment after that. And luckily we got to spend church with one of her ninos. So
Oh,
Yeah.
I haven't seen him in forever. Well, that's what I was saying. Like, we need to go back to church because we would always see him all the time.
yeah.
The only other place where you meet your loved ones too? Church.
Yeah, exactly.
Church.
And bautizos and weddings.
Yeah. So that's what I was saying. It takes a podcast to bring people together. As you
Mhm.
see, when you're 30 and older, this is what it
Yeah.
takes to bring
I
people
know.
together.
We went out for
Oh, yeah.
dinner to Texas Roadhouse, and then we got back, and I'm like, wow, it's still early.
Mm.
Let's hit up Margaret and Victory.
Let's do it.
Sheesh, that's early. Well,
Mhm.
unfortunately, it's not early for me, but hey, that's what's 30 and on, right? We get
Yeah.
older. So I don't know if you guys seen basically Inside Out 2. It's already out. People are raging about it. It's a great movie. What would you say, Margarita?
I thought it was a really good movie.
Okay.
I hope that you guys are able to take some time to go see it because I feel like I was able to relate to the movie a little bit more than the first one because how would I say? Should I just keep going?
I think it caught your feelings more.
It did.
Okay.
Because there was a lot of parts in the movie where Junior and I would just look at each other like right away.
like mood.
Like, moo, oh, that's me. Like, that's me. I mean, I don't know if you guys will be able to relate to it because, well, you guys kind of saw the first movie, right? What, Junior, did you watch the first movie?
I'm pretty sure we did. I just don't
We
really
did. You
remember.
guys said it was a really long
time
time.
Yeah.
ago.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think it was when it first came out. So I remember bits and
Mhm.
pieces of it.
Mhm.
You know, she's early, like 10, 11. So, you know, you have like those little mixed emotions. The general, sad, joy.
Happy.
And I know this one I haven't seen it. But I've only heard really good things about it.
Mhm.
Only good things. But I'm like, oh, don't mess it up for me. So I just know it has something to do with going into, you know, the teenage
Mhm.
era.
Yeah.
So, you know, you got the complicated emotions being introduced from what I've known. But yeah, I don't know much about it.
Well, it might be a little spoiler alert. We could go into it if you want on the Inside Out 2. We don't really have to, but
Okay.
I am gonna mention at least one of the characters.
Okay.
But I could be the witness in saying if you haven't seen Inside 1, you don't have to worry about it. Inside 2, it's a little bit differently.
Okay.
'Cause I
It's
wasn't-
its own.
Yeah.
Okay.
I wasn't able to finish Inside Out 1, so like I still went in there and I was like, okay, I'm gonna just go and
Okay.
watch it. So
Okay.
just
Oh,
for
yeah,
the
good to know.
people.
Good. Yeah. Good to know.
Because
Good to
I
know.
was thinking of like, okay, let me go back, rewatch the 1st
Mhm.
one, and then go watch
Mhm.
Yeah.
the second one.
No, you don't. It kind of gives you not a recap, but I guess for los años que no, because you know how you said she was like 10, 11, right?
Mhm,
In the
mhm.
first movie. And they kind of show of like her like growing up, like this
The
is kind of what happened.
transition.
Yeah, like a little
Mhm.
transition.
Okay.
Yes, good word.
I think
yeah.
the easiest way to put it, like Inside 2, is like
Inside Out.
Inside Out 2 is like going into puberty.
Yes.
That's the easiest way to
Yes.
put it together. Like if
Yes.
we're not gonna, you know,
Straightforward, yeah.
yeah, if you're not gonna say like 13, 14, 15, again, because everybody goes to puberty in different ages.
Mhm.
I think that'd be the easiest.
So-
Good.
So before we get like all into it, because I do want us to like kind of like compare ourselves, see if we're able to like connect with the first movie and the second movie, which is like
Okay.
when you were little, and then
Of
now
course.
now that she's older and as she hit puberty. Do you want to go over your theory first?
Well, it's not really a theory. It's more like somebody probably in our age group compared it to a childhood cartoon of ours.
Okay.
Okay. So, for example, maybe this is going to get it off. I don't know if you guys ever heard this theory of these emotions based on this cartoon. So, Winnie the Pooh. You guys remember kind of Winnie the Pooh, how it was and the emotions that it gives you, or it kind
Yeah.
of like throws out there. So it's
Yeah.
almost like a remake of Inside Out, but
Okay.
for us was Winnie the Pooh.
That's
Yeah.
pretty
Okay.
okay.
That's a
I
good
can see,
analogy because
yeah.
you have like the nostalgia, you have Eeyore.
Well,
Oh,
I'm gonna
okay.
give you guys the characters.
Okay.
Oh, you're gonna go through the
okay.
characters?
Oh,
okay,
uh-huh.
okay, yes,
Yeah,
okay.
but that's kind of like, you know, a background of it. Like,
that's
oh,
a
like,
very
damn.
good
See?
comparison,
That's-
yeah,
actually, because then
dang.
you have Tigger bouncing off the walls,
Uh-huh.
and okay,
Okay, there
okay,
you
let me
go.
not
Go
get
for
ahead
it.
of myself.
No, you're good. So I'm not gonna take the credit. I did see somebody post this up, and I was like, oh yeah, very true.
Okay.
But again, this is just our input into it.
Okay.
So Pooh, the first one is gonna be the easiest, is joy.
Mm-hmm.
So you agree with that?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
True.
All
He
right.
always was happy.
So I mean, can you say a little bit of joy? Like, you want to bring something up about joy? How is joy?
So Joy, why don't you, and you guys can elaborate for whatever it is that you guys remember, but Joy just always wanted everything to be happy, always
Positive.
wanted to, I guess, bottle up the other emotions, just kind of like, yeah, we don't need you discuss, we don't, especially sadness, right? She never
Mhm.
wanted Riley to be sad.
Okay.
You guys have anything
Right.
else? I don't know if I'm missing anything out.
I mean, comparing it to Winnie the Pooh, that's like
Uh-huh.
Pooh never wanted to see Christopher alone.
Mm-hmm.
Never wanted to see, you know, he was always happy when he sees Honey.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, honey made him super happy.
Okay.
And it didn't and it
Okay.
didn't matter that the bees were there, right? He would
Right,
always
right,
stick his
right.
hand in there.
Yes.
So yeah, those are two good
Wow.
ways to look at it.
That was good that you guys remembered.
Wow, you guys had a childhood.
Oh, sheesh.
You guys paid for cable.
I know.
Oh, okay.
Well, you gotta think about it. Was it a good childhood, or were they already taking us to be an adult?
I think they prep you,
Prep
or,
us?
or they.
But is that a good thing to get these emotions when you're
Yeah.
like 9, 10 years old?
What?
Yeah.
Not. I don't think they're pushing you to get these emotions. It's more like for you to explore or identify. Like,
Mhm.
oh, when you're feeling like this, or when you
Mhm.
do this and look like this is what it's called.
Okay.
Yeah,
You know?
like putting a label to it,
Yes,
right?
Exactly.
Because before we didn't, right? Growing up, we just felt it,
Right.
but we
Yeah.
didn't know
what it was.
What it was.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Mhm.
And then you can kind of go into like, oh, well, when I'm feeling like this, is it valid?
Mhm.
Is it not? Like our parents' response. I'm not trying to wing off too
No,
much
no.
Yeah,
away
no,
from
that's
it.
perfect.
But it's like all of a sudden you're feeling a certain way and it's like not validated, by
Mhm.
our parents.
So I guess that is a good point,
Yes.
because us Latinos, we push our feelings away. So
Yeah.
seeing
Of
this
course.
American cartoon kind of
Yes.
pushed us to something that our parents wouldn't do.
Mhm.
All right.
Yeah, and that's why I don't like, my mind just races when I think, oh, this and that. This is why I'm this. This is why I react certain things. But that's why I love like the whole psychology aspect of it, because I'm not super knowledgeable on the psychological aspect of it, but it's just like my mind just keeps running, and I know like the things like my triggers and stuff like that.
Yes.
But then when I'm in the current situation and feeling these feelings and acting the way that I'm acting, I don't know if you guys are following. I know it's a lot of like
Mm-hmm.
theory, I guess.
There you go.
Like,
Yeah.
I forget that, okay, this is the way that you can handle it instead of just like lashing out or I don't know.
Welcome
like-
to your 30s.
Welcome to my 30s.
Where it's like you finally are okay with, feeling.
Mm-hmm.
And hey, it's okay to feel sad. Hey, it's
Mm.
okay to feel a little blue.
Mhm.
And, you're more in touch and, you validate your own emotions.
Mhm.
And it always helps to have like supportive friends, family members,
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I
around.
agree.
Yeah, I think you guys really took Joy to very seriously. You guys were very cherishful and happy there. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Can I add one more thing?
Huh?
Can I add one more thing with Joy? The reason why I was able to connect with Joy is because, at least for me, we always try to find when somebody's down or
Right.
when something's not going good, like us like on the other side, like we want to make it good, we want to
Right.
make it okay, and we always want whoever it is to. But yeah, we just try to make the other person feel good. Like we want them
Right.
to like forget about these emotions.
Which is not a bad thing.
Mhm.
I think as a friend or a good, support system, you want to turn around that feeling,
Mhm.
right? It's not like, hey, let's explore what's going on. No, we just want to switch it to like
Exactly.
good, which is I think what she does. She
Uh-huh.
always wants to just mask things or kind of push the other feelings and emotions.
Like
to the
sadness, she
side.
pushed
Like,
her away a
yeah,
lot.
we don't need your negativity. Let's go ahead and just
Mhm.
fix this and focus on the good.
Yeah. And it's funny because like whenever Joy would try to make Riley happy, eventually like all of those emotions will come back
Right.
all over again. And as much as she tried, eventually she realized like, okay, maybe it's okay for her to be sad and feel this way.
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So I think one of the ways that I can put it right now, maybe just to have in back of your mind a question when we go through all these emotions, but I want you guys to have this in back of your mind, okay?
Mhm.
Is joy the hardest emotion to keep up with? So did joy have the hardest job of all of the emotions? Okay, just keep it in back of your mind. All right, so now going back to Winnie the Pooh, it's rabbit, it's anger. So can we agree to that?
Yeah.
Rabbit was anger?
Mhm.
Which one was Rabbit?
Rabbit was basically rabbit.
Rabbit.
Like he would get
Okay,
angry.
it's been I haven't seen it in a long time.
So rabbit, like he would get mad, like if people will go around his garden, for example.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he would throw
He
a
was
tantrum,
He was
right?
grumpy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, you
He
guys
was a
talk more.
grumpy
You
one.
guys talk more about Rabbit porque no me lo acuerdo.
No, you're
He
fine.
was more like, there's kind of like no time to play type of thing.
Mhm.
Like,
Mhm.
down
like,
to business all the time.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So, I mean, what I could remember of it is he was just a little bit more serious. Like he
Mhm.
didn't let loose.
Mhm.
Like he was just always a little bit more uptight, and like Jay said, like it was more about like, hey, get off my lawn, get off my his, what was it, a trunk or something?
Yeah, his
Oh,
house
okay.
was a
Wow,
trough.
you guys
Yeah.
remember
Uh-huh.
details.
Yeah,
I
good
remember
for you.
watching just a couple of episodes, maybe.
It sounds like you were a Nickelodeon fan.
I probably had the free,
A little bit of both.
That- you
free
guys make it seem
membership
like-
for like a little bit.
All
And,
you had to do
um,
is just hit the TV, and that was it. You'll
Oh.
get different channels.
No, my dad had the black box. That one was
Oh.
illegal.
Oh, okay.
Whenever the technician would come on, he would just take that off real quick and go hide it.
Oh, so it was illegal.
It was illegal,
We had
yeah,
all
the
the
black
channels.
box.
Illegal.
Yep, illegal.
Yeah. well,
Okay,
Mhm.
okay.
We're opening
No.
up very much here.
I know.
Okay, so anger. So
I remember a little bit about touching like bases todavía with Rabbit. He would Tigger would trigger him, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he would like get very
Mm.
bothered when he would come around.
Mhm.
Oh,
Just,
okay.
like,
because he was like the complete opposite.
Right.
Very,
yes,
very
completely
joyous.
opposite.
But you have seen Inside Out, so give us a feedback of anger. Like, what was something that you recall that anger did for an emotion?
Anything that was pretty much inconvenient. Any inconvenience, he was just like, oh no, let's just get angry real quick. Like that was how would I say?
Like his role, like that was.
Yeah,
just,
like that was like the emotion. Instead of Riley like analyzing the situation and be like, okay, you know what? I guess I can't do this right now, but
A
just her
way to solve
response.
an issue.
Her
Yeah,
response.
Yeah, so that was her that like anger was Riley's immediate response to any inconvenience.
Okay.
So I can't remember a specific one. Do you remember a specific one?
I think one of them was like for example, on one was that her parents had to move out to somewhere, and so she had to start a whole new life again.
Mm-hmm.
So that triggered her to be angry all the time.
Oh, okay,
you know,
yes.
and like in the mornings because it was a new life that she had to experience.
Yeah, so I think that's when a lot of the anger started showing up a little bit more. So that was just her immediate response to a lot of things. She would give her parents attitude, and that's pretty much what would
Mm-hmm.
anything
Okay.
that was inconvenient.
Yeah, I mean, little spoiler alert. The second one, it was more like when she was playing hockey, it was a reaction she had just to accomplish something. So she would get angry.
Okay.
Like it was more like I'm gonna do it because like I have to do it almost. You
Okay.
know, like you just take everything out at that moment. You're just looking straight forward. So you just get angry, right? You're like, doesn't matter who's in front of me. I'm gonna do it no matter what.
Do you
Because she
think
was
that
trying-
comes with being competitive though?
Somewhat, yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So I feel like that kind of emotion ties in with
Mhm.
being competitive a lot of times, which in
Mhm.
sportsmanship, I'm assuming this is actually
Yeah.
natural.
Especially if it
Good.
was hockey, you know. like,
Yes.
that's-
Yeah.
So more aggressive.
The sport that lets you box in the actual game.
Yes.
No, yeah, because Riley was trying to make the team for high school. That's why she was like very I need to get into this. And
Mhm.
and other things too, of course. But that was like the biggest thing that she wanted to make sure that she made the team.
Okay.
So she was
Correct.
very
Okay.
All right, so moving on to the next one is Eeyore. Can you guys guess what Eeyore was?
He was no who was a who? Oh, depression. Sadness.
Depressed.
Yeah,
Sadness or depressed, yeah.
Yeah,
And he was
sadness.
blue too.
Uh-huh.
Well,
he was purplish. He was
Purplish?
purple.
Okay, I remember him being like a blue.
Mhm.
But I don't think that's a coincidence.
Yeah,
none
no.
of those
Like
things are-
the color?
Yeah.
Because blue is always like, oh, like a down color,
Yes.
depression.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I think
Oh.
Eeyore for me was more like it was like our sad boy era, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Dude, how
Just
many
the
times did he
That
build
makes sense.
that house and then just a little butterfly would come and stand on it? Bloop, it'll just fall again.
Oh, no, I remember that. I
So-
remember that.
Yeah, that's true.
But
that
it's-
was like
but-
the sad boy
sorry.
era.
Yeah, but you know what's crazy now that I'm thinking about it? But he had the most patience.
Mhm.
Even though you're super sad, you have the most patience at that time.
Why do you think that is?
Because no matter what, he kept building that house again. And he knew what was going to happen again. And he
'Cause-
still built it.
Like he knew what the emotion was, right? And he was
Yeah.
still trying to like almost go over the emotion, but he couldn't no matter what.
Yeah.
So he kind of like bottled it up and just kept on going still. So almost like having
Okay.
very, just being patient. So like, for example, like Jay said, it's just like he was building this house. So no matter what, he always had that patience to build a house, even though he knew the outcome was going to be, it was going to get destroyed.
Okay.
So in ahorita that you're saying that, so sadness in the first movie, when Joy was trying to push her away, she told her, okay, you know what, because sadness just kept on, I guess ruining things, right? Like
Mhm.
supposedly she kept ruining things. So Joy was like, you know what, let's have you review the manual, and it was just like this huge
Trying to keep her
thing.
busy.
Trying to keep her busy, right?
Okay.
Trying to keep sadness busy. Let's not worry about that. I don't have to worry about her. So eventually, she does end up learning the manual, and at some point, which she kind of like saved the day type of thing.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So kind of like I don't know. I got just making the
No,
connection
yeah.
with Eeyore.
So obviously, like you just said it, like how many of us read a manual? Be honest.
I don't have the patience for it.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like it's kind of weird to think about that. Sadness is the one that has the most patience. Because if you don't have patience, you're not gonna be able to read a manual.
I mean, I'm not going to lie. I do read here and there. Sometimes it's like you just want a little bit of guidance.
Mhm.
And I'm like that too. The first thing out of the box, just throw it away.
Mhm.
But that's an instinct that we have, I guess. I'm speaking at least for me and maybe Jay. Like
Mhm.
it's just kind of like an instinct. Like, well, why do I need this for? Because I know.
Because you're not able to accomplish the next step, so you have to go back to that
Yeah.
manual and
So
And grab
just
it,
like I said,
right?
a little bit of guidance, and then
Yeah.
after that, like it's like a snowball. Just
Mhm.
once you get it going, and just from there, boom, it'll go.
Okay. Keyword snowball. So I guess I'm asking for a friend. So what do you guys do when you guys are sad? Do you guys have like something that you guys do consistently whenever you guys are sad, or
yeah,
something to pretty much just get you out of that funk? Is there something
keep
that just
myself busy.
keep yourself busy,
Mhm.
right? It's the
Yeah.
same thing with Eeyore and ¿cómo se llama? Sadness.
Sadness,
They were always keeping themselves busy.
Mhm.
No, but really, like, is there something that you guys do whenever you guys are sad? Like, what is it that you guys do to just get out of that funk? So you said keep yourself busy.
Mhm.
I think surround yourself with, well, it just depends.
Mm-hmm.
It depends, like, what you're going through. I would say
Right.
surround yourself with, like, positive people. Like, don't go to people who have that
low energy,
that demeanor that you just know they're going to talk negative stuff or that they're just going to make it about themselves. I need to surround myself by people who are high energy.
Mhm.
People who love to talk. They're just chatterboxes. That helps me.
Okay.
And so I think that's one. And then working out.
Working
I
out.
think that's a good outlet
Okay. Mhm.
that I figured out. I'm like, I don't even have to try that hard. Like just being there and distracting my mind, something about getting your body going and, exhausting it.
Mhm. No, you're right. You're right. What about you, Primo?
I want to say, man, yeah, like Arlene said, working out.
Mhm.
Working out helps. Just distraction in general, but I mean, at least it's a positive distraction. You're not just throwing all your time away.
Mhm.
You're getting some gains out of it, and at the same time, I've always been a big music guy. I just like listening to music,
Yes.
and I don't know, I just go somewhere where I'm just I can feel. It's hard to find a spot where you could be like you feel at peace, but if you could find a comfortable spot, just throw some music on and just close your eyes, breathe.
Yeah. Do you have a go-to? Do you guys have like a go-to song, like something that's just gonna like pick you guys up, or it's just whatever you guys are
Dude,
feeling?
sometimes you just like listen, you're already feeling low, and then you put on your sad boy playlist. Como que quieres sentir más de lo que
Quiere
ya estás
llorar.
sintiendo. For me, it's a little bit of everything.
A little bit of everything?
Yes. I can't say like, oh, I'm going to play something super cheerful. No. Sometimes it's even like sad.
Just sad music.
know,
Just to
like, you
mellow
just
out.
wanna- And I don't think that's a bad thing. It's just kind of like, oh, you're identifying your emotions with something else.
Yeah.
Yeah, my grandma used to say, just let it out. Even if it's at your own time, find your own spot, a spot of peace, let it out. Don't keep it inside, because that's what holds you from like
That's true.
walking forward, moving forward. And I understand that everybody's a little bit different. Nobody's the same, but I just kind of kept that so I like to just listen to some music. If I could, outdoors better.
Yes.
And just let it out,
Let it out some way, somehow, right?
Yeah, some way, somehow. It doesn't necessarily have to be, like, for instance, if you're sad, it doesn't have to be like you crying. It doesn't have to be all, if you're driving, you take a drive, you have your windows down, you're blasting your music. Sometimes it could be a happy song, like a cheerful song. It doesn't have to be a down song. I know we have a little bit more of a down songs nowadays than before, but sometimes it's a song that just gets you energy, like Arlene said, like the energy gets you like pumping again, and that might trigger something to like, what, I am down, but this song got me to, what, yeah, yes. I am gonna go to the gym. What, I am gonna go home and do my laundry. Something I was avoiding, I'm gonna do it, because you just gotta turn the negative to a positive and just keep moving forward.
No, you're right. And it's so funny that that we're talking about this today, because this morning, like, I got up, Junior went to go play, and everyone's gonna be like, who's Junior?
I know, you keep saying Junior a lot this
he went to
episode.
go play, and I got up, I washed my face, brushed my teeth, made myself some breakfast, and then I did not have the energy, no tenía el ánimo to do anything. Okay. And mind you, I did not work out this whole week, and I was so consistent, and I just completely blew it this week.
That feeling.
And then I was just like, oh, I guess I'm gonna do that again today. And I just laid on the bed, was on my phone, editing some stuff. And then I was like, you know what? I'm tired of this. I'm like, I'm gonna put some music on, put some salsa on. No. I was listening to tamborazo, and I'll randomly, and I do this. This is like, you guys probably don't see this side of me, but like, I started dancing around to tamborazo. I was like jumping around. Yes. I was like, you know what? Let me go get my shoes on, and I got dressed, and I went to go to the gym. And it felt amazing.
You were dancing, I believe.
I was dancing. Like, I saw him, I was like, hey!
Yes. So you are your own hype woman.
Yeah. You kind of have to sometimes. You have to sometimes.
That's
yeah.
good. That's a good.
And that's why I
Mhm.
feel like maybe no music is no wrong music, because there's so much instruments that
Mhm.
those vibrations that any instrument gives you can make you feel some type of way.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what
Have you guys heard about the whole music, the music and vibrations? You guys have?
I
It just yeah.
I'm not
Have you?
Mhm.
I don't know where we're going with
No.
No.
Well, like for example, again, this is what I've seen. I haven't tried it for myself, but like you can put like sand in a like copper pot,
Mhm.
and then you make a type of sound, and it forms a shape.
Oh,
So
like
then,
with the sand in there.
with the sand
Oh,
in there.
okay, okay,
So then let's say that you make another sound and it makes a different shape.
okay.
So that's almost like giving you an example, like, oh yeah, like different beats have different vibrations.
Okay.
And the way to see it is visually is with the sand.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
But like it like intertwines with like your feelings, because
it
if it's like a
does.
high what is it, high vibration, high
vibration.
energy,
Yes.
it's gonna be, you know, depending what the energy of the vibration is, like it's gonna make you feel happy, or like some songs can make you feel. That's why some songs make you feel sad. Some of them make you, I don't know, just that thought. There,
Different
it's more. I'm
emotions.
pretty sure there's more in
Yes,
depth.
that I've seen.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I've seen that. And it's more like to be in tune with yourself.
Mhm. Yeah.
Okay.
Like, remember when we went to Tequila Tres Mujeres? How they were playing the piano or something like that? You guys don't remember?
No, they weren't
Wait.
there.
Wait, you guys were with us?
No,
Wrong
they weren't there.
crew.
No.
Like,
No.
Dude, I thought you guys were with
You
us.
lost me at the
No.
piano.
Oh, man. Okay, so
Pero sí, ahí andamos.
just really quick with
Sí,
the
sí me
tequila.
acuerdo, sí me acuerdo.
You guys were in
No,
our, you guys
is
were in
this a
our
test?
mind.
Are we supposed to improvise? Like, yeah? Give me a sign.
I was playing the piano. Arlene was on top of it. Yeah.
Yes.
You remember? You were there?
With
We
the
were
rosy mouth. So in their cellar, where they keep their tequila, they were playing not classical music, like
Just
piano music.
music,
I don't
Okay.
know the exact term for it or the genre for it. And they said that's because of the vibration, it helps the tequila. Is it age or
Fermentation.
ferment? A little, yeah, something like
Yeah.
that. That's what they were telling.
Whoa.
Who knows if it was true? But I mean, after I heard, I don't know if it was before or after I heard the whole vibration thing, I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense.
It does.
You learn
Mhm.
something new every day. Look at
Yeah.
that.
I completely went off on a tangent, but go back to
It's
you.
interesting.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, at least you gave them a little part that you experienced
Yes.
in Guadalajara.
Which you guys
We
were
were
there.
there. We were there. Yeah.
That's so crazy. I just usually thought you guys were there.
I think this one was the hardest for me to see when this guy was saying it. What you think owl was for inside owl? And they know owl
He's
was
the
like
wise one.
He's like the wise one,
Oh,
right?
yeah,
Like
yeah, yeah.
knowledge.
He's like,
no.
No?
Mm.
Shut up. Because it's
Yeah,
usually associated with knowledge, right? Like the owl.
And that's the thing. Like I couldn't really like owl doesn't really sound like, if I can go back and say Winnie-the-Pooh owl, like I cannot remember what he was. And again, this is what I've seen. Maybe
Okay, give us some options.
Maybe I'm
Between
missing
Between three
it.
options.
Maybe I'm missing it, or I misunderstood it at the moment that I saw it. But I mean, I can't, because this is the last emotion on there. So do you guys remember maybe the emotion that I haven't said from Inside Out?
I don't remember.
A disgust.
Yes. So
Really?
they said Al was
Wow.
discussed.
Oh.
Why? Do you guys remember? the
I just
owl?
remember
Why?
Al was, he's an owl, so he's always up in the tree, and he's like always like by himself. He's not near them ever.
Is it because he's kind of uptight?
Yeah, it could be.
Mm,
I just don't
he
really
did?
remember. Yeah, I just
Okay.
couldn't really remember when they say Al. I was like, I honestly
Yeah,
cannot
right now,
remember
that's,
That
Al.
that's
makes
how I
sense.
feel. Yeah.
From what I remember, wasn't he kind of like very proper?
Right.
Very
Mhm.
like,
Mm-hmm.
No, well, Arlene's like uptight,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just-
But,
but I don't know. It to me, like Jay said, I can't remember like it's because he kind of just popped in and popped out
All random?
randomly. So to me, it was more like he was kind of like evil.
evil. He give you that evil.
He
La
gave me like
lechuza?
he gave me like evil vibes
Wow.
sometimes, but it was like, oh, I don't know if you want to trust that, even though he
Mm.
says it all smartly, like,
Mhm.
just maybe because it was like, I guess what I was trying to say is more like he always looked like he was like an adult, you know.
mm,
For if you
Well,
he
watch the show as a
was.
kid, you're a kid. You're not thinking
Mhm.
about the things that
Right.
Owl is saying. You're thinking about like, well, how come we can't have fun, or why can't we explore?
but that makes sense, right? Because when we're kids, we don't think anything is disgusting. We put
Yeah.
everything in our
Right.
mouth, or we
Oh, that's
just
true,
grab
too.
it all the time.
Right.
Mm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so like they kind of threw me off, but I was like, okay, well, I do remember I always being up there in the tree. He was never really around the ground. You know, he was like always like just by himself, just like what Jay said.
Like you peasants.
But I couldn't, put one and one together and be like, okay, yeah, for sure. So that's why I wanted to see what you guys go about. But yeah, it kind of does make sense, everything you guys said.
Okay.
That's funny how it just ties up with the last one and the last one, like, discussed. And now that you say it, it kind of just rethinking about it as, my age now. I'm like, well, that's true. It is he give me that like disgust kind of feeling. That's weird.
Yeah, because as you said, like, that was the last character you put in back of your mind. Like that was, you didn't care about Al because Al was too much of a, I'm doing my own thing.
Yeah.
So that's the last emotion you said?
That's the last emotion for Inside Out.
Okay.
So for 1. So for 2, again, if it's up to you guys, if you guys want to go into it, if you guys don't, if you guys want to watch the movie, that's fine with us. But the one that I think is going to stand out and the one that's going to come out in Inside Out 2 is Anxiety. So what's Anxiety for Winnie-the-Pooh? And he didn't say this one yet. And I think, again, because he was just basing it on Inside Out. Okay, do you know? Like,
No.
Arlene raised her hand, so she kind of has a clue.
Go for it. No, go for it.
No,
Piglet.
no.
No.
Oh, I miss Piglet still.
What?
Sorry, but no. It's
Piglet is anxiety, no?
No. So we'll go back to Piglet, but I already moved in to Inside Out 2. So Anxiety, who's Anxiety? Let's go on for that. But there's not Piglet.
It's
Okay.
not Piglet?
No.
Because he was always like very jumpy, like who's the one that said,
No.
oh, deer?
Uh-uh.
Who would say that?
That's Tigger.
Tigger? Okay.
Okay,
So he's all
so
mixed up.
you guys, Anxiety, who's Anxiety?
I want to say. Okay, so we got Pooh, we got Rabbit, we got Eeyore.
You guys say
Did we
Piglet,
say Tigger?
but Piglet, we haven't.
I want to say it was Tigger.
Yes, Anxiety is Tigger for me. But
Okay.
do you guys agree or not? Because Tigger always would be bouncing around and like always had a bunch of emotions.
He did, like, I get what you're saying, Jay, because again, seeing it from a different perspective of era now, he had some deep lows. Like, yeah, he could be bouncing here and there. Hey guys, this. But cuando ya todos traían sus pedos, like nobody wanted to follow him. Like caía, like, he got into like that almost
Emotion.
Yeah, like that emotion that just like kills his vibes and just gets kind of sad and into a, what was that?
Depression?
Kind of depression, but what was the emotion?
Well,
Sadness?
No, it was anxiety.
Oh, anxiety, yes, anxiety.
Okay.
So it had like something to do with that.
Okay, so you guys are Tigger, but we're Piglet, right? Okay, do you want to talk about Piglet?
I mean, it was just like his demeanor and his body language and the tone of his voice, from what I could remember. He was always very uncertain and like worried about everything going on.
Like, what if this, what if that, right? And that's what anxiety
like
is.
Overanalyzing everything.
Okay.
Yes, that's from what I would remember.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's fine. Maybe again, your guys' emotion could be this way. What if it's like guys are different from girls? I'm not trying to say a guy and a girl perspective, but let's say it this way, okay? Because maybe if I say this one, you guys are going to be like, oh shit, that is right. Okay, so me and Jay say anxiety for Tigger, so that was just me saying like I think Tigger was anxiety for Inside Out 2, but at the one that I forgot for Inside Out 1 was Piglet. So the character that was missing in Inside Out was fear. So Piglet's fear.
Yeah. And that's what I was gonna say right now.
He was.
To me, like if I can give my opinion on why Piglet, I always seen her. And you said
a scary cat.
Yeah.
Okay, so first of all,
okay.
Do you think Piglet is a girl or a boy?
I always thought he was a boy.
A boy.
Okay.
Wasn't it pink?
It's pink, yeah.
Okay.
It's a natural color. But I always saw it like
I got
pink.
it, natural color. Beep, beep. You guys don't get it?
No.
Piglet, a pig is pink.
Yeah.
Oh.
Anyways, but no, still, like, there's no right or wrong answer
Yeah,
here.
flew through.
All right. So basically, what I remember about Piglet was just him being scared all the time,
Mm.
He was always in fear.
like shaking, yeah. And to be honest, like, I've never really told anyone this. I don't know if I mentioned it to you, probably, but in middle school we had pues ya ves, los kids, they be in, si tienes clases de puros mexicanos, puro apodo, puro everything. So everybody was something. To me, well, me, obviously I didn't pick mine, but they used to call me Piglet. And I always thought it was because of my nose. Like, I have a, big nose. But it wasn't until years later a friend told me, he's like, nah, bro, it's because, like, you were just scared to do things. I was like, really? Like, I never saw myself like that. It's like, yeah, bro, like, you always just try to stay away from trouble. Or when you did get in trouble, like, you were one of the, like, ones to always be like, nah, bro, like, it sucks. Like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to get in trouble. Like, and so that's why I'm trying to just say, like, yeah, Piglet reminds me of that. Because he's always shaky. He's always nervous. Always, like, just nervous. And to me, it was more, my personal life was like nervousness. I was always just nervous, shy. And so, yeah, that's what I think.
Really? Okay, what grade was this? Because I see, from what I guess the stories that you have told and that I have heard is that you were like you didn't care, eras el silver tooth kid and desmadre y todo.
But see, maybe outside of school, because being in school was one thing. Being outside, and I'm not saying I'm a double face either, but, like, in school, I just tried because I knew I wasn't a good student in the sense of, like, learning things. I tried, like, because, I had Jay as an example. Like, he used to call me, hey, bro, gases. Well, I just got home. Okay, so you're gonna come over? I was like, well, I got homework. All right, pues ponte a hacer el homework. Like, he used to tell me it, like, he used to be on me because it was the right thing to do. And so, not because Jay wasn't there, even though I had my other friends, school friends, I knew the right thing to do is learn something. Even though si no se me capta, no se me mete, I would read a book, don't even understand it. I would have homework, don't understand. I don't know how many times Jay used to be right there on the phone with me, like, okay, well, what does it say? And just, on me. But the thing was to get it done and come have fun, like, go play. If you didn't, bro, then that just answers my question. Like, we're not gonna hang out today.
Oh, did that ever happen where you guys just didn't hang out because you didn't get to finish your homework?
I think a couple of times.
Yeah.
I didn't finish it, so he was like, all right, well, it wouldn't take him a long time to say, like, okay, bro, well, today, no, like, we're not playing today.
But at the same time, like, we did have, parents and guardians. So, like, let's say we knew we were gonna go somewhere at a certain time. So, let's say I show up and he wasn't there. So he had to, his parents told me, you gotta stay back.
Because you didn't finish your homework.
Yeah.
It could have just been that too.
I mean, yeah, like, I am, like, for the most part, like, I'm adventurous, or even as a kid, like, I was very adventurous, very, what do you say? How do you say it? I had a big imagination. I like to explore a lot. Obviously, Jay knows all that, but yeah, I hope I could that answer a little bit of your question. I know I get off topic, but yeah, just, I don't know. I had big, like, yo me ponía muy nervioso, like, just to like, I was always in class, like, what if they call on me to read? What if they call on me to, like, answer a question or go to the whiteboard and, have to solve a problem? Like, that was me. And I didn't realize it because I was just more focused on that, and that everybody else saw it and started calling me Piglet. I didn't know that.
That's part of being a teenager too, where all your emotions are emphasized. So instead of it just being what you felt normally, now everything is, like, altered. You become more embarrassed, because you want to be the cool kid. You know, you become a lot more anxious because it's like, everybody's looking at me.
Mm-hmm.
You know, what do they think about me? Envy is emphasized a lot when you're a teenager. You know, you see everybody else, and it might not have to be like a baddie. We always have like a negative connotation towards envy, which, I mean, it's not 100% good, but I think it's just you're trying to keep up with everybody else. You see somebody, oh wow, that person is so pretty. You know, you have like this admiration out of nowhere, things that you didn't pay attention to before. Now it's kind of like, oh, I want to look like that. Oh, yo quiero esos zapatos. Oh, yo quiero esa mochila.
Yeah.
You know, that kind of stuff.
So envy is okay when you're 18 and younger, but not older, or does it matter?
I think any emotion is okay to feel. It's just how you go about it and how you use it.
Very true.
Yeah.
Very normal. Vas a tener, this is a normal response. I think, like, especially like with just the way we're raised, you know, most people are going to feel all these emotions. Now you have those families that really focus on like, no, we're not going to say that word here because we're not going to feel that emotion in this household.
Yeah.
You know, so a lot of parents will keep that out of their household and they don't really expose the child to it. So you might have a child that they probably never felt embarrassment because, you know, the environment that the parent created with them growing up was very different.
True.
You know, si se caían, it wasn't like a, you know, no se la hacían de, you know, it's not like, cállate otra vez. You know?
Más fuerte.
Ándale.
Pendejo,
Otra
you
vez,
know? And sometimes in a Hispanic household, they make you feel ashamed. It's like, how did I just get hurt? And on top of it, I'm dumb, or you know, it's okay for me not to, like, it's not okay for me to express sadness. You were saying, so do you think it's okay to have these emotions or envy like when you're younger than younger than 18, right? And it's, you know, I think it's normal. I don't think that it's 100% okay, you know, but some people will get stuck there with that emotion and they will carry it on for the rest of their lives. And it just gets worse. It can be a very nasty emotion, you know, and it could become somebody's way of living for the rest of their life. So they will become a person who it's not them, but they will try to portray this person all because why? They want to look like the cool person. You know, or it's like you have people who envy other people lo que tienen, you know, material wise, and it's like they don't care. They don't care what they have to do to obtain that, you know. And you have those people who, like, for example, they're trying to keep up with this lifestyle where it's like, you know, all image. They want to be the ones that are posting like they're traveling all the time, the cool trips, you know, the cool clothes, the cool shoes, and they can't even pay their rent.
All because they want to keep up with this image.
Yes. I think it kind of ties back to envy. It's like, I want that, and, you know, and they can't really have it. But it's kind of like, oh, well, I'm going to do whatever it takes, you know, to come off as that person.
Okay, so I don't know if you guys have heard. Okay, so we all have like our own knowledge as far as like emotions and how we should handle ourselves. And, you know, we have to learn about ourselves to be able to help others. So have you guys ever heard of like, okay, if you can't help, you have to help yourself in order to be able to help others, right? With these movies, I guess from what I got, is that this movie, I feel like it's made more for adults so that they can really see themselves through Riley and how she's getting older and how like these emotions are triggered. Do you guys feel like this might be something that could be helpful for parents to be able to support their own kids? And like how can this possibly support it? I mean, I can think of things, but I just want to hear like how like your guys' input on it too. Like,
you're talking about the second movie or just
first in general?
I think parents, the way it's portrayed, it's I think it's meant to be easy for them to understand. easy enough for a kid to understand. So a parent has to be able to understand like what's going on here, right?
Yeah.
I know with us, a lot of times, you know, especially now as adults, we'll have a conversation with our parents. And I know I've come across it where I'm having a conversation with my mom and she's like, well, es que yo no sabía. And genuinely, I mean, there is no handbook, no manual for a parent. So a lot of times they don't know when they're raising you. They don't know, hey, I'm supposed to let my child feel what they're supposed to feel. I'm supposed to be supportive. You know, they're just doing what they know how to do best. Okay. So I think this kind of sheds some light into, oh, okay, well, maybe it's okay to validate my child's emotions. Maybe this is the right thing to do. So I think it's especially with our new generation, you know, you have more parents going to the movie theater, you know. So I know I've noticed that, and it's like, oh, you know, this is a whole new generation of parents who will be able to be a little bit more relatable with the kids. You know,
it's almost like what we just said at the beginning is like our Latinos wouldn't show these emotions, so we got this from this Winnie-the-Pooh. So now they're showing it us to an adult version that makes sense, or we're going through it at the moment.
Right. Yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
I mean, I agree with Arlene. She has like some very, very valid points on that, because it makes it more simple, I think, there's parents that might not, like, again, Jay said, we didn't get that when we were young. We didn't have an explanation, but this is a way for this era of parents to have some type of explanations to give to the little ones. Even if it's a movie that might not have all the answers to your, you know, solutions that you need, but it's a good way to just be specific and simplify the things. Like Jay and I analyze Winnie-the-Pooh now, and it's like, oh, it like
you didn't think about it that way.
I didn't think about that until like, you know, boom, I don't know how many years later. And now with these type of movies, it's like so simple to just say, hey, I'm feeling sad. And there shouldn't be kids feeling sad. You know, they should be able to be like, hey, I'm energetic right now. I'm funny. I'm happy. You know, I want to go dance. I want to go play. I want to go explore. And it's a good thing that they are showing these kids and parents. I think they're teaching a little bit of both, maybe grasping it a little bit more as an adult. We see it like maybe it's pointed out as an adult movie with the cartoon, you know. But you know, what I'm curious right now is like, okay, what about if a little kid, if we had like, you know, and I know we don't have no little kids here, but like if you ask a little kid these same questions, I wonder what he would say.
Well, I think in reality we don't see it at the moment, that being a kid you do pick up on these emotions. And I'm saying this because during the movie there was little kids and they would say, oh, she did this, or oh, he did that, you know. So they were picking up the emotion. For them it's more like almost like saying like, oh, I do that too, so I've seen it. But obviously you're not telling your parent like, oh, dad, I did that, I do that too, when, you know, I do it. So I think it does happen. But as you being a kid is the same situation as me and you did not see Al being discussed. You know, we put it in the back. It was like, whatever. Like, that's not meaningful for us. What's meaningful is all the other characters and all the other characters putting an excitement or an emotion in us where we are living in that moment, kind of. That makes sense.
Yeah. And I mean, if you... I almost want to say it's almost like you know, una navaja de doble filo at the same time, because yeah, it tries to show the best of it, but it's also putting out there the negative, and it's being very specific. Like, to analyze it or to put it in simple terms, since, you know, it's like when for instance, there's something that I might not like about Arlene, or she did something, or I did something that Arlene didn't like, and it might be hard for her to tell me, hey, I don't like that you did this. It could be so simple, but then at the same time, for whatever, depending on what I did, it could get harder for her to express her way to me.
Mhm.
So there might be these little things, clips, or part of the movie that you see, and it's like you're watching the movie, but you're like, I hope that what we just saw, um,
You're able to do it in the
you're
future.
able to, like, well, it's more like, I hope what you just saw, like maybe in Arlene's eye, is like, okay, there's this guy. Let's say there's a guy that I'm always going to the kitchen, grabbing water, a cup of water, and I put it down without a coaster on the countertop, and maybe it triggers Arlene. Like, oh, like maybe in the beginning it should probably be like, okay, well, he must have not grabbed one or whatever once in a while. Like, let's just say, okay, it's the beginning. He only did a couple of times, and then I develop una costumbre to just not think about, hey, let me take that extra step, put a coaster under, because it's not going to trigger her. I don't even think about it. I just keep drinking water, putting it right there. And Arlene might not like that. So what if let's just say that in this movie, there was a part where, the guy was drinking water, and every day he was just putting it on the countertop without a coaster. And then one day he gets it, and like, instead of putting it down, he gets the coaster and puts it. And if Arlene and I are seeing that movie, Arlene might say like, oh, I hope he caught that. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
It's these emotions that, like, it's hard sometimes to express to even your significant other. It's sometimes hard. And it's like, these type of movies kind of help to, like, shed light on those type of topics without having to get into it with your significant other. Like, because sometimes you don't say something because you're trying to avoid a fight, or trying to not, make someone's day go bad or sideways. It's like, it might not be a big deal for her, or but it is to me, or vice versa. So these type of movies, that's what I see and I pick up. Like, that's what I'm trying to say. Like, it's kind of like navaja de doble filo.
Yeah, they're very intentional for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, Disney doesn't do anything by accident, I don't think. So I think with the way they portray like these movies, it's easy enough for a child to understand, right? I think even a toddler can identify, okay, well, the colors,
like they're happy,
even
they're
though
sad.
they haven't reached a level of maturity, yes, sad, boredom, there's certain things that they can already identify with. The colors, maybe like the tone of their voice. And then you have kids who are like 10 and they're like, oh, yep, I can definitely relate with this. And then you have teenagers, but also like us as adults and parents, I think we can start identifying like, hey, todavía, like, I feel these emotions. And I think with parents, when they come across something like this, it's almost like, exactly what they're trying to do with kids, teach them like, hey, these are your emotions. This is what it looks like. I think the same thing with parents a lot of times, especially like you have a Hispanic parent, if I was to take my mom there, I think she would be able to soak up and look at things a little bit differently if she really paid attention.
Which we hope, right?
We would hope so. Yeah.
That's what I was going to say. Like, oh, sorry. No, go ahead. Continue.
No. So just that, I think like just kind of open up their mind.
That's what I was going to say.
And their view. And then at the same time, it helps them become a little bit more in tune with themselves, because I think also you're exposing them to maybe previous trauma and, where before it was, I mean, we've gotten a little taste of like, hey, our emotions weren't validating. Now, let's go back to their times where they had 10 siblings.
Yeah.
I think that was even tougher.
Mhm.
So I think, this kind of digs out some of that.
A lot of
these
that,
kind
yeah.
of movies.
Mhm.
And I think that definitely just the matter that they're able to identify with some of these things and just know like, hey, it's okay. Maybe, I don't know that it'll make them better parents. Maybe for some,
possibly.
yes. But now, they got grandkids. And I don't know if you see the way they were with us is definitely not the way they are with the little
Completely different.
ones. No. So I think, they can definitely benefit and help them become more mature, more in tune with their emotions.
Even
true.
Yeah, even for oneself, even for like yourself. Like I'm trying to think about like, because I was just talking to Junior, like, dang, like, why was I so freaking angry all the time? Because I'm sure you guys knew, like, back in the day, me, right? Like, my biggest trigger, like, I mean, my first response to any inconvenience was like anger, and I would lash out. I see you guys shaking your head. That's so freaking embarrassing. It's embarrassing. No, it's embarrassing to say, but then, of course, I went to school. I kept an open mind, and I was like, "Wow, this is really interesting." And then, little by todavía, right? We're still trying to work. That's what I'm saying. Like, is it even beneficial for parents? Because it's gonna have to start with the parents, right? It's gonna have to start with your parents, and then if we have kids, if we ever do, like we would, I think we're gonna. That's why. How would I say? Yeah, if we were to have kids, I'm sure it's going to be different. And the reason why is because I see my sister, esta Lupita, like the way that she is with Lupi. It's completely different, the relationship that she had with my mom, now the relationship that she has with my sister. But that's because she's become, like, I feel like she has an open mind. She's aware of, like, certain things. And, of course, she's not perfect, right? Like, she's not perfect in her parenting. And I don't think anybody is. But I see the effort that she's making.
Right.
And that's because she went to school. Now, imagine people that probably didn't go to school. They're just used to, like, let's say parents who are just used to going to work, cook, take care of the kids, same routine over and over again, and they're not really exposing themselves to stuff like this. And something so simple as a movie, which might be a kid's movie, can make such a great impact to anyone, right? Because even I'm telling you, I was watching the movie and Junior and I would look at each other. I was like, oh me. Right.
I'll give you the hints.
Yes.
Well, I wasn't trying to put you on the spot, but every time you looked at me, I knew you were looking at me because you were trying to say something in a quiet way, kind of. Yeah. Like I wasn't trying to ignore you, but I was trying to give you that attention. Like, okay, like I understand where you're coming from. Almost.
I didn't expect you to talk, but I think just con la mirada, it spoke a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what this movie is meant to do too. Like everybody's supposed to relate with it, right?
Yeah.
I think that's why it's been such a hit.
Yeah.
Everybody has felt some way or another happy, angry, bored.
So I think we're almost wrapping it up, but a couple things more. Honestly, and you guys weren't wrong or anything like that. It was more like I didn't really capture this movie as a parenting movie, but you guys really went into depth on that, okay? Just saying that. I didn't see it as a parenting movie, but that is a good analogy how to put it. I saw it more as just an experiment for your own self. And I know you guys gave those comments as well. Like, oh, like it's not parenting, but it could be a movie for your own self. So I think the biggest way to put it or to agree maybe to it is like I seen or heard people say like this movie made me cry at the end. So for me, I didn't feel those feelings of crying. I just saw it more of like, oh, damn, I was able to relate. But I don't know. Or did you get emotional? Be honest. Did you get that emotion of like you wanted to cry because you felt all these emotions at one time and you were able to reflect yourself into it?
I felt anxious because I was like, okay, I've been sitting down for too long, so my anxiety started kicking in. But no, I didn't feel like I wanted to cry. No.
Okay, and some people wanted to cry, or they did cry in these movies. So for me, I thought to myself, and again, my opinion, I thought more like you're still not like healed, or like you're not spiritually like into your feelings yet. Like you still have to do growing. Like if you feel like you're crying at the end of this movie, you have to work on something, on one of the emotions.
If you don't end up crying?
No, if you end up crying. I feel like you have to work on one of the emotions.
Yeah, you have to work on
because it made you cry, so you really felt that emotion at the end of the movie, and you're like, damn, like it reflected me back of a situation that I've been going through.
Well, the thing about emotions is that, you know, we all have emotion. We all have the same emotions, but we all portray them. Is that the correct term? We all portray them differently. We're all going to, I guess we're all going to experience them differently based on our, I think you said it earlier, based on our upbringing, right? Based on how the way that we were brought up. So maybe it can be somebody will cry because they're like, wow, like this is totally me. Like, I don't want to be like that, so I'm going to cry. Or it can be, dang, this used to be me. Look at how far I've come, so I'm going to cry about it. Or, I don't know, it's just something that's going to remember them, that's going to trigger that emotion.
Yeah, because you can't forget, like, the original thought of your plans was just to go watch a movie.
Yeah.
And seeing it as an experimental thing, like, yeah, Jay's right. Like, I agree with Jay, because it's like, it's just a movie. You know, you should take something good out of it. But at the end of the day, it's just a movie. And if you're too attached to a feeling that it was there, then yeah, you have something that's really been bugging you.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that. Just, you can't forget the original thought was, hey, let's just go watch this movie.
Yeah, I think at the end it was like the emotions that were trying to control them. Like at the end, like the emotions figure out that all the emotions inside you try to control them, but at the end of the day, you cannot control them. You can just kind of maneuver them and make your own self feel some type of way in whatever situation you're in. So that's what I capture at the end of the movie. So if you guys see it, maybe you can agree or disagree. But I guess the last question is like, so is joy the hardest feeling for all the emotions?
I'll have you guys start. You guys are the guests.
We'll go for it.
Joy, yes. I would say yes.
Okay.
Some of us are really good about portraying and bringing out our joy even when we're not happy. That's just the kind of person you are. And that's a hard that's a hard role to play. Not everybody's good at it. Like, you have those people who, when they're feeling anxious, they're going to make it known that they are feeling anxious, or that they're feeling sad or angry. And that's all they can show, right? And then you have those people who can be battling depression. You have those people who are battling just, you know, it's some other kind of emotion, but they still keep a happy face on, you know? So I think that's a hard one. Or you have those people who are genuinely like happy all the time. And
like somebody that's
how in a world full of, you know, war and so many, you know, violence, like, how do you keep yourself at that level of happiness all the time, positivity all the time? How do they do it? And that's something that's very admirable. It's just how.
Or
it's
for
not
some
that
people,
easy.
it can become like envy. Like it could be envy, like, damn, you're always joyful, for example.
Yeah, because it's not an easy emotion for a lot of people to obtain and to carry out on a daily basis. It's kind of like, you know, you have those people who are just kind of like irritated by you being happy. It's just like, how? I just, it must be fake, you know? So, and no, you have maybe people who just live and thrive differently. There's people who are just, they really focus on their mental well-being, you know, their health well-being.
Mm-hmm.
So you have those people who, yes, I mean, I'm sure they feel down here and there. It's just they prioritize their mental well-being. And okay, what does that tie down with? A lot of positive emotions, you know? So these are the people who they're going to eat good.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to work out. They're going to read. They're going to journal. You know, they're going to probably watch TED Talks, you know? They play instruments, something that just keeps their mind busy and just attracts a lot more happiness.
Yeah. No, you put it very well together. Like you put it, I'm like, yes. You took some of the words out of my mouth, but then some other ones I was like, yes,
Mm-hmm. You guys put me on the spotlight. I'm like, think.
So is there anything else you can include with joy? Or like, is that the hardest?
No, it's just I just the same question you brought. Like that's a good question that you brought up. Like how do you stay happy, you know? Because I feel like this is a therapy session, because I feel like I like with the whole working out thing and cleaning, like I don't feel satisfied. I always feel like I have to do more. So it's like, how can you find that happiness, you know? Like how can you just be content?
You have to find that level of happiness. You know, only you can identify, and just know that eventually you're gonna have to be okay. I mean, si ya le pusiste, you went above and beyond and you're still not happy and now it's causing you frustration. I think you as an adult have to be in touch with, okay, obviously this is generating some emotions that are not very positive. Let me go back and think like, okay, what did I just do and was it good enough? You know, so being able to pinpoint, you know, before it gets out of hand, you know, like, okay, I can see myself elevating to like a negative emotion. Let me nip it in the bud.
Yeah.
So
see,
and that's easier said than done.
It is easier said than done. And what I do is, you know, I'm like, okay, where's the like, why, like, is there a trigger to that? Like, what is it what stemmed from this? Or do you get what I mean? Was it something from like my childhood? Because like I don't need like the whole childhood thing. Like before I don't. I'm like, why am I going on and off? I think it's because I'm holding back to like express myself completely. I think that's why that's why I get stuck a lot.
You're like censoring yourself.
Yes, I am. I do. I do that a lot. Because and even with Junior, like there's a lot of things that I still hold back, and I shouldn't. Like I should be okay. Like I've known you guys for so many years, I should be like okay. But there's always like that fear of judgment or not judgment, or maybe letting you guys down or stuff like that. So. And me sharing that, you know, I don't feel satisfied. Like that's me already oversharing. Yes. Like I'm oversharing, and that's where I'm like, okay, take a step back. You're sharing too much.
Okay.
But that's why I'm like, okay, where did this stem from? Like, why is it that I'm like this? Because, and okay, that's why I was trying to connect it with. Because before I was like, the reason why I was like so angry, well, I think the reason why I was so angry and very anxious, like extra anxious before, is because thinking back, I thought back about my childhood. It was like, you know, you already know my mom. Sometimes there was like a lot of yelling. There was like a lot of the way that we would communicate, a lot of chaos, right? Even though it didn't feel like it was chaotic, but thinking back is like, okay, that was my response. Like when my siblings and I would fight, it was just, you know, shouting. It was like, okay, brother, so how are you feeling today? What did I do to trigger you today? No, it was like, boom. Yes. You know? Yes. So that's where I was just like, okay. And now like the way that my parents were with us, or more like my mom, because my mom was the one that raised us the most. I was just like, okay, you know what? Like, I'm not angry at her at the way that she was raised, but now it's just like, okay, that's why. Right. And I think that's what helped me like level things out a little bit, which I still need to work on again. And I'm acknowledging it.
It's a lifelong project.
Yes.
Definitely.
And I guess that's why I was trying to connect it back with being happy. Like, why is it that I don't feel like I'm fulfilling? I don't feel fulfilled. You know?
Okay.
Just like that. I'm just like,
Okay.
I think I still need to find that so I can be like, okay, I'm going to forgive myself, forgive, whatever, pass with past, move on. And I'm a better person now. And just kind of like you checking back, okay, I did this. What did I do to make me feel satisfied? And I just need to preach what I speak.
No. And I feel like you've come such a long way. I mean, you say, oh, I was always angry. No, I feel like you were like always a happy child and, always running around. And I wouldn't consider you, me personally, but I can't tell you what you were feeling. Like, that's just what you portray. You always seem like traviesa and, full of energy and happy to me in my eyes growing up. And then, we get into our teenage years and it's a little bit different and you get into your 20s and that's where I kind of seen you like certain things will irritate, but that's a whole different life that you started. You became more independent, so you can't expect to be the same person that you were before. You're dealing with real life now, real life issues when you become independent. So it's totally normal. And now I feel like you've come out of your shell so much.
You think so?
Yes.
You didn't make me cry.
You're able to talk in public and record, and not anybody can do that. I'm sitting here and I'm like, oh my gosh, you can do this like nothing.
Yeah.
And
with pauses in between.
and that's okay. See, and you needed that.
Thank you. And see, I think I just focus a lot on the negative because you're saying, oh no, like I don't remember you being this, like this and this and that. But I think I just fixate myself on like the negative. Hence, he always tells me, you're being negative. You're being negative. And even when somebody tries to tell me something positive, I'm like, no, but this and this and that. And
it could go back. We always talk about like going back to the way we were raised. It's how many of you in the household and how much attention did you guys individually get from your parents? And it's like you said, you're not going to hate your parents. You're not going to resent them, or maybe there is some resentment that you have to work on, but they did what they could do at them or with what they knew. Right. And, now you have your mom, for example, who's working on, she makes it very known that she is working on healing herself.
And I'm proud of her.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. So, she's come a long way. And I think with that, maybe you're not at home with her all the time, but isn't it nicer now that she's a better version of her?
Oh, yeah.
How nice would it have been growing up with that woman that she is now?
Like,
things would have played out way different, She was more in touch with herself, more in touch with her emotions. So she would have taught you guys to be in touch with your emotion. Hey, it's okay. Hey, a woman is supposed to feel this way. We're sensitive. We're sensitive humans. And I know with him mentioning before this last question, how we looked at it like it was supposed to be a parenting movie. And he didn't really get that much out of that, right? Yeah. And you had people coming out crying, and I think it just hits a little different with it. A lo mejor it's that people haven't healed from something, like you said. I think definitely you have those people who are currently going through stuff or who had never taken the time to think about a certain something and it just triggers them, right? Or it could just be that a person is very sensitive, and being sensitive is not just like, oh, this person cries for everything. It's just there's people who are very in touch. Like they could be the happiest person, but they're just very in touch with everybody's emotions.
In touch of it. Yes. Okay.
So, just that alone, it's kind of like, oh my goodness, that person might be going through that. I'm not going through it. But the fact that somebody else is feeling that certain way, it just makes them sensitive to whatever, they have that. They're just very in tune with everybody's
For somebody
emotions.
else, it could be a new learning experience as well.
Exactly.
Yeah. That's very good.
Let's clap it for me.
That was a very good. I don't want to say it was a bad way we went through it, but like you guys show more emotion, even though it was a different question that was brought out, right? And that's it. Now, like, there's nothing wrong with it. It was just like, it was nice that both of you came out with the emotions that you guys kind of were bottling up, and you let it free almost, just naturally, okay?
Almost. I'm like, almost.
Almost because you were still holding in, right? So it naturally kind of came out no matter what.
Yeah.
But for you, Jay, is joy the most hardest emotion to work with?
Yeah, I agree with, with putting Margaret here and Arlene of they pretty much took the words out of my mouth too. So yeah, I feel like it's hard. It's hard to be joyful all the time. Like Arlene says, sometimes you just have to carry yourself out like that and make everyone believe that you're okay. But when the doors close, you're not.
Right.
And it sucks. But joy is hard. Joy is hard. Not natural joy. Natural joy, it's the most simplest, easiest thing that without even thinking, it's lo más hermoso que te puede pasar. Just being naturally happy because you saw somebody. I get that when I see Arlene, like, oh my God, like, see, it's a natural smile in my face. And I know she could probably be like, that's not true. Like, but it in my inside, my feeling, what I actually get, that's what it is. It's a natural joy that can't be made up. It can't be faked. It's a lot of what you girls said. Like, it's hard to keep it pushing, keep it making it seem like everything's fine, everything's okay.
Right.
And at the same time, for me, just joy is natural joy. It's the most easiest thing that can happen to you. Most beautiful thing.
Very true.
I
like that.
All emotions are complicated. All of them, even the most positive ones.
Yep.
Yeah. Just like life.
Yep. And that is life, your emotions.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I think for myself, I see it more as like it's a yin and a yang. Like, you need anger to be happy. You need sadness to, be scared, or sadness and scare is the same emotion you get. So just two emotions become one at sometimes. So I think you need to be able to maneuver two emotions at one time to be able to, like, just move on in life.
Is it kind of like, just to understand, so you're saying it's kind of like you need to have evil to understand what's good.
Right.
That type of thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Which makes a lot more sense now that we're older. I
Yeah.
totally understand that. And see, the same thing. How would you know what happiness is if you've never felt down, Or, I mean, maybe you don't need it. Who knows?
Yeah.
But I think for the most of us, have felt a little bit of both. And that's why we appreciate one emotion a lot more when we have it, because it's like, oh, I've gone through a period of my life where I wasn't happy. And then, like, now you are happy. So you don't take it for granted, right?
Right.
You don't take it for granted. I heard one thing one time, and it said something like, you're not depressed, you're just distracted. And I don't know, I'm gonna let that sink for you guys.
So say that again.
You're not depressed, you're just distracted. You have to be, like, mature to really, like, nitpick and take that apart. So what does it mean, like, just distracted? What do you think that would mean?
Well, I feel more like depressed is like, I've heard it some other way that maybe could relate. It's like depressed. It's like a freebie almost. Like somebody being depressed. And again, it's not for everybody, and everybody, it has these times where you're going to take it some other way, but it's
this is the way you understand it.
Yeah, it's like some people cannot have that depressed emotion at a certain time. for whatever reason. It could be at their age they're going on with so much more that they don't have no distraction. I mean, like they have so much to carry on that there's no distraction at that moment.
Okay.
So like it's almost like depression is like you get it for free almost.
Okay.
Like you're a free person to be able to get that feeling.
Okay.
Almost.
Okay.
I know I didn't say it completely, but
no, I get the gist of it.
yeah, it's almost like it's a freebie for you. Like depression is a freebie for you because some people are not able.
Extra thing that you kind of choose to carry on.
Yeah,
onto
some
your
people
platter.
can't have that.
Oh, I see what you mean.
Yeah, I
Okay.
think that's what you're trying to say.
Mhm.
Okay. See, and that may very well be it. I don't know if you have any thoughts about it.
What was it again? Okay,
So
you're not depressed.
you're not depressed. You're just distracted.
You're just distracted. No, I can think of, okay, I guess one of example that I can, the best way that I can like give an example or describe it is that if you're distracted, because I don't know if you guys have heard, like if you're on your phone a lot, like a lot of people get depressed or they get a lot of anxiety versus if you get away from from the phone, then you'll find life. There's life other than just the screen.
Yeah.
I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But
touch grass, that's what they say. Just touch grass.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I mean, I don't know, because that's how I felt this morning. Like I was on my phone and I was just kind of like, I wasn't even paying attention to what was on there. I was just like scrolling and thinking about something else. I'm like, okay, I'm just distracted right now. Versus I could have been done earlier. I could have done, so many more other things. And I was just distracted.
And that's exactly why I brought that up.
Mhm.
Because you reminded me of that earlier and I didn't mention it. I know we kind of started touching on happiness, but I didn't want to end this without saying that. Because I kind of took a different approach to it. But I'll let you kind of see what you think about that. There's no right or wrong. It's just...
Yeah. I mean, it definitely gets you like to analyze it in a different way. Like Jay said, it's almost like a freebie, and like Arlene said, like it's almost like your choice. Choose to carry that with you or choose to leave it. And it's not necessarily that it's gonna disappear. It's just more of like how you start to move forward with your life from the point that you realized it, that hey, was this a distraction or am I depressed? And it's like it's not as easy for everyone to say, you know what, I'm not gonna be depressed, boom, si se acabó. But it's how you move forward with it. Like, sabes qué, better attitude, mañana voy a ser poquito mejor. One step at a time goes a long way, and simply just that, like, I kind of just take it as one step at a time. It's not gonna leave you, but it's there. But you could choose to live a better life from this point forward. And it's good to acknowledge it, because now that it could have been something bad for you. It could have led to a bad impact in your life, and that's, well, anything bad is not good for you, that, and people don't stop and say, like, hear it in these type of forms of like, hey, stop and think about this real quick. I just see it in that way, where it's like you acknowledge it now, you can move forward, and moving forward doesn't mean boom, it's gonna drop, but moving forward means take one step at a time to get away and leaving that bad behind you, to get stronger in any other emotions, because all the emotions are valid. Everybody's opinions are valid, especially when it comes to being you. That's pretty much it.
Yeah.
No.
Very agree. I agree to all the emotions we kind of said to each other here. It was nice.
With that being said, there's gonna be a part 3.
Part 3. We're gonna be the emotions, the new emotions.
I know it's
in part
crazy because
3.
we have different colors, right? So
I
everybody is a
know.
different emotion right now.
know.
I'm lost. I'm white. No, I'm kidding. Oh no, wait, nostalgia. Wasn't the old lady nostalgia?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
But no, thank you guys again. Thank you for clicking on this video. If you have, thank you to our guests.
Yes, thank you guys for coming again. Last minute, last minute. Good talks. I know I got off on a couple tangents, but
No problem.
That's what it's about.
yeah. Thank
This
you
is
guys
all
so
true.
much.
True. This is all like
Life.
de adentro, you know,
Inside out.
inside out, from inside out. You know?
We have Inside Out 3 here, right?
Hell
In
yeah.
our living room.
No, thank you guys for having us. It was fun, like always. And I'm happy to see you guys keep growing and growing.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks.
No
Likewise.
paran. Pues parecen máquinas.
Yeah.
Pero,
Congratulations.
congrats on everything you guys
Thank
are doing.
you.
Awesome.
Thanks.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I like the vibration that's going on
No.
here. The energy that's going on.
Throw the sand. A ver qué hace. What shape is this?
We're gonna start flowing up in the
I
earth or something.
know.
Next time we do have to plan that trip to Mexico, but I can so you guys can
Yes,
see what
it
I'm talking
really
about.
happened.
No, oh my gosh, I'm still
Yeah,
like, oh my gosh,
practice
I
my
can't believe
pianos.
it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Close it up, Margarita.
All right, guys. So don't forget to, like Lechito said, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.
Yes, on YouTube, Spotify Music, and Apple Podcasts or Music as well. And yes, guys, see you until next time.
Bye.
Hey,
Bye.
peace.